Hi, Sai. It's me, Benji, coming at you from South Korea, and here on January 19th to share another story that comes from around the globe. This story, Hi, Sai. Where's Hi, Sai or hello from? This is from the country of, or the place of Okinawa. Now, Okinawa is just way down south of Japan. So why do I say Haisai and not Konnichiwa for Japanese? Well, Okinawa is part of Japan. It was annexed to Japan in the late 1800s against the will of many Okinawans. Okinawans have their own language, even though their economy is built alongside with Japan. Okay, well, today's story is about the Kijimunas. Now, the Kijimunas are these little elf-like creatures that have been told in Okinawan mythology for generations. Okay, now before I get started on the Kijimunas, I would like to take a break and first dedicate this lovely, charming story to my cousin brother, Santiago Garza, who proudly served in the United States Marine Corps for 20 years, over 20 years, and now lives here in Okinawa. Me and Junior, my cousin brother, we've visited each other sometimes because Okinawa is not very far from South Korea. Of course, with the current coronavirus, again, now we cannot travel to see each other. Now, growing up, Junior was always there for me. In many ways, Junior was my moral compass. He always disagreed with me on everything, anything political, on any issue. Junior was always trying to set me straight, maybe to look at the other side of things. Sometimes I didn't like Junior because a lot of my Spanish comes from Junior. Junior's always trying to tell me things like, again, setting me straight, always saying, Benji, cállate el hocico, means Benji, shut your mouth. And other things was like, Benji, sosiégate, Benji, behave. And another one, what was the other one? Oh yeah, Junior, remember? You would always tell me, Benji, no seas pendejo. Don't be a big dummy. But again, Junior was always there for me. Growing up as an only child, I didn't have any brothers or sisters, and Junior was always there, growing up with me. So again, Junior, again, big love, my brother. Again, we miss you. And this story, it's dedicated to you. Okay, so, well, vamos a comenzar la historia. Let's begin our story on the Kijimuna. Now, everyone, the Kijimunas are elf-like creatures. Now, they're very similar in our culture to what we call, in Spanish culture, Duendes. Los Duendes. So, los Duendes, again, in Spanish culture, were, again, like these elf-like creatures, very similar to Ireland's leprechauns. Now, it's funny how in every world culture there seems to be this mythology, fantasy, creatures that are elf-like. And the thing about the Kijimunas is that people don't realize that when you visit Japan, Okinawa, they even have a Kijimuna festival. Now, stories about them have been passed through generations, as I mentioned. Now, the Kijimunas are known for their mischievous nature. They're very mischievous. They're very sensitive. Now, they kind of look like red Smurfs. They're childlike, and however, they are known to, even though they are known to befriend humans, they're very sensitive and very easily disappointed. You do not want to cross a Kijimuna or disappoint them because they can do something very bad to you. What am I talking about? Well, now, interestingly, the Kijimunas, they're known for, in your sleep, when you're sleeping, they can crawl up on your chest, just like they say about cats. And they put this pressure on your chest. So it makes you feel like you're losing your breath. and that you're kind of having this out of body experience, right? Now in Korea, we call this phenomenon the kawi. In Okinawa, now they call this phenomenon, again, part of the Kijimuna, as trying to kind of get your soul kind of thing. Now, what's funny is that in our culture, in the Spanish culture, to get rid of this feeling like you're leaving your body, we start to pray to God, and it's over. You know, this awful feeling is it's done. But in the Okinawan culture, when this happens to you, if you pass gas, fart, the Kijimunas are very quick to leave because they hate people who pass gas. That is your only defense against the Kijimunas when they come after you at nighttime. Okay, yes. So now the thing about the Kijimunas is that, yeah, they live. Where do they live? They live in the banyan trees. Now the banyan trees are here. Now the thing about the banyan trees is that they are an invasive kind of species because of the roots. So how in the world do Kijimunas get into your house anyway? Guys, they come from under the ground, in through your plumbing, because the banyan roots, they go in through the pipes, and that's how they get into your house. Now, the thing about it is that the Kijimunas, they're very afraid of octopuses. Now, it's going to be very hard to find out why the Kijimunas are afraid of the octopuses. We can only have a theory that the octopuses, they're attracted to this banyan tree. So what they do is that they cling to this tree, just the same way the same way that the Kijimunas put pressure on you. See, they don't like when it happens to them. You see, so I think that that's one of the reasons. But of course, we would have to go to Okinawa and find out more investigative reporting. Again, we can always go to the Kijimuna Festival and we can find the answers there after Corona is over, of course. So there's a story. One of the stories that have been passed on about the Kijimunas is that there was once a rich boy. And of course, there's always going to be a what? A poor boy. Now, legend has it that the rich boy's family were, again, rich. The poor boy would hang out with the rich boy, but the poor boy became envious of the rich boy because the rich boy had everything. And the poor boy decided to not be friends with the rich boy anymore. Instead, he was so depressed that he would go to the forest. And he would just cry because he was poor. And that's when the Kijimuna come in, right? And the Kijimuna looks at the boy and says, "Oh, what's wrong?" And the boy says, "Well, I'm poor. I don't have any money. I wish I was rich." And the Kijimuna, guys, you know what? The Kijimuna are excellent fishermen. And it's known that the Kijimuna eat only one part of the fish, like the eye, the left eye, and they leave the rest. They seem to be very forgetful, these Kijimunas. But you see, the Kijimuna told the poor boy, he said, "Okay, well, I will make a deal with you. I shall catch you and teach you how to fish, and you will become very rich." And the poor boy says, "Really?" "Yes. Meet me here every time I ask of you in the forest, and we will always go fishing." See, the Kijimunas sometimes like company, and the poor boy agreed. So the poor boy goes with the Kijimuna, and they go fishing. Now the Kijimuna, they catch a lot of fish, and the poor boy's like, "Wow," you see. But the Kijimuna, he only takes one fish for himself, gives everything to the poor boy. The poor boy takes the fish and sells. Like a good businessman, the poor boy sells the fish and gets a lot of money. Now, every time the poor boy goes to the forest to meet the Kijimuna, as he requested, they're always catching fish. And that's how the poor boy soon becomes very rich. Now, the Kijimuna had also said in the deal, "Please, if you ever disappoint me, I shall make you poor again." The poor boy agreed. So they kept meeting. poor boy got rich and rich and rich. And soon time passed until finally the poor boy goes and starts hanging out with the rich boy. And you know what? Over time, the poor boy forgot about the Kijimuna. He stopped meeting the Kijimuna at the forest. So the Kijimuna was very disappointed. With that one time he failed to meet the Kijimuna, the Kijimuna acted on the promise. The Kijimuna came through the house. And you know what, guys? Just like the Duendes of Mexico, they took everything from him. And the poor boy was poor again. So there is a moral of the story, right? Can we guess the moral of the story? The moral of the story is, first, don't cross the Kijimuna and always keep the promise, okay? Otherwise, you would be poor again. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story of the Kijimuna. And before we leave today, I have a special request. A request that comes from my cousin, again, in Okinawa. I want to say the story again in Spanish, but the story is about our story that comes from Benavides, Texas. Okay? Well, antes de comenzar, vamos a ver las diferencias del burro, mula y caballo. Los burros son independientes de los caballos. Pero la mula viene de un padre de burro. Y la mamá, la madre de la mula viene del caballo. Ok. Bueno, amigos. Un día había un pueblito que se llama Benavides, Texas. Y afuera de Benavides había un ranchito. Y en este rancho había un ranchero y una mula y un perro. Pero el ranchero era muy malo, muy mal viejo. Híjole, muy violento porque todos los días pegaba a los animales. Y mira, en este mula un día estaban trabajando. Y este ranchero poniendo mochilas y cajas hasta la cocina de fregadora arriba la mula. Y que estaba pegando a la mula. Hey, va, papá, vale, Y que la mula nomás, mira, dijo al ranchero, ya no me pegas. Y que el ranchero, muy sorpresa, su presa, que fue corriendo, y el perro detrás de él, para unos 2 millas. Y a que se paró, finalmente paró el ranchero, y el ranchero estaba sudando. Ay, hijo, en toda mi vida, nunca ha oído una mula hablar. Y que el perro nomás lo miró al ranchero. Y el perro que dice, yo no tampoco. Ay, qué chicos. Y así es la historia. Es la historia del ranchero, mula y el perro. Bueno, amigos, I hope you enjoyed the story in Spanish. Junior, I hope this one's for you. So I hope you enjoyed the Spanish version. Well, everyone, again, thank you for your time today. Hope you were entertained and that we learned a little something about our culture outside our little Corona bubbles happening. So again, guys, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for your time again in world literature. See you next time, guys. Bye.